by the Brazilian government to adopt here. So we are quite aware of the assistance that the Brazilian government is giving to its neighbors and other developing countries. And as a developing country themselves, they are quite aware of the challenges that we face, both politically and economically. So we feel through our presence there in Brazil, we can also take advantage of the growth potential of that big continent. Indonesia is for us a natural progression of our nationhood, so to speak. That as we mature in our development, we realize that there are countries that neighbors the Pacific Island region that share the same political views as us, who are also developing countries that have come through difficult development phases, and we can learn from them. And Indonesia has always been supportive of Fiji during our times of political challenges, and they are in town right now as observers to the Melanesian Spearhead Group meetings, summit, and they have come with a clear message, that they are our neighbors, and they can assist too in our development aspirations. And given that the experience they've had can also be shared with us. So having the Indonesians recognizing our challenges and supporting it is a big boost to us in progressing our activities and development agenda here in Fiji.
So great to hear that these countries are in support as we look ahead. Although I'm not too sure about South Africa. They're only just behind us on the IRB international points table, so don't reveal too many secrets. But Permanent Secretary, what as we near the end of our session, what are some of the risks or challenges behind these linkages, these ties with missions overseas with these countries?
Well, for us, when we make our analysis on opening a mission abroad, we look at the risks too. And some of the risks that are often considered is the security aspect on how it will impact on our operation, on the cost, and on the activities of our diplomats that we sent abroad. But after undergoing the whole analysis, we are satisfied, and prior to recommending to Cabinet and for government's endorsement, that the missions that we are based, the capitals that we are based in, is relatively safe enough for us to operate from. There's always the risk on the financial side that we might be spreading ourselves too thin on the ground or spending too much on what we are allocated. But that is where our headquarters here in Suva is engaged in, how we can use the resources that's given to us, use it constructively, and to maximize the return to Fiji. And that is an exercise we undertake on a quarterly basis to see the returns that we are getting from these missions. And I can say that with our missions abroad, 13 at the moment, be 15 by the end of the year. I can assure that every taxpayers' money that is used in sustaining our presence abroad, we get a good return for it. Because without the presence of our missions abroad, we would not have received the investors that are coming to Fiji. Tourism is another area. because as I said initially, we are constantly being challenged by information that are available in the World Wide Web, on the internet, and blog sites that are portraying negative pictures about Fiji. And that is why it is very crucial that we have an office on all the continents of the world, so that we can engage constructively with our detractors and with our development partners. Because at the end of the day, the onus is on us, on Fiji, to win the argument against our political detractors that are out there. And I can say that with confidence that our diplomats that we've sent abroad are doing a very good job with the small numbers that they have in the mission. And mostly we have three diplomats per mission.
Okay.
Compared to, like if you go to other countries like in New Zealand and Australia, they have 10 times the size of that. But that does not discourage our officers. Every time we send an officer out to the field, we reassure them that like the whole staff at the ministry here in Suva are behind them, and we are available 24 hours, 7 days a week to provide them the support that they needed to carry out their work in the respective capitals in the world. So for us, it's a constant engagement between our missions and headquarters, so that we minimize the risk. We minimize the loss to the government of Fiji. But it is essential. I know there has been some criticism of why we are out there. Why can't we use these resources, in other development areas here in Fiji? But I can say Fiji is part of the global community. We are no longer an island, although physically we are. But without these connections to the international community, we might not be positioned to reap the benefits of the global economy or the global community out there. So it is quite essential that we are out there promoting, defending, and flying the flag for Fiji. And that is what we are doing 24/7 out there. And although the numbers are small in the missions and here in the ministry, but as I said, the onus is on us here at the ministry, to work smartly, so to speak, and focus on issues where we can realize tangible outcomes for Fiji. And that is the assurance I want to give to your listeners today, that your diplomatic missions out there are available to all our travelers of Fiji nationals, wherever they may be. They can call in and register on the missions, on our missions abroad. And secondly, we are available online too. The ministry has launched a very proactive, user-friendly website, and we are on Twitter, Facebook. So we are very much a worldwide web user and a citizen. So for our nationals who are out there facing challenges with regards to anything where we can assist, I encourage them to get in touch, register online with our missions, or drop us a line here at the headquarters here in Suva, informing us of their business abroad. So in addition to all the activities that I highlighted, we're also there for our nationals. I've served in London and Brussels, and numerous a time I had to drive down to the airport to meet some of our nationals who are stranded there. So often, people who've lost suitcases, and then that is part of our job. Even in the middle of the night, we often come out to help our nationals out there. So I want to encourage your listeners that the missions out there in the world is a government office. And as taxpayers of this country, you are entitled to the services that they are providing. It's just like walking to a government office here. So that is a message I want to send out to your listeners.
Absolutely. It's physical social networking. And as you mentioned, tweeting, you can tweet them as well. And also on Facebook, social networking on the World Wide Web. As we draw to a close, what can the people of Fiji do to assist government with these overseas missions? I know that government and diplomats have that challenge of going out to these countries and painting a picture of Fiji and what it truly is really like. What can we do here back home?
Well, there are increasing numbers of Fiji nationals who are traveling abroad nowadays. One has just looked at the statistics from the provider by the Bureau of Stats, and you see the numbers of Fiji nationals traveling are in the hundreds of thousands. And for every time a person, any Fijian who leaves our shore, is an ambassador for Fiji. And that is, like how we can, how our Fiji nationals can assist the work that we do at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The actions of every Fiji nationals abroad, the message that we give out, how we manage our participation in the different activities, whether you're a student at a university in Japan or in Sydney, or whether you go as a church group or as a tourist. Whatever you say and whatever you do often reflects on the country that you. So my message to the people of Fiji and to your listeners, that it's quite important that that as travelers we need to be responsible, because every action or every word that we speak out in the world is a reflection of where we come from. And for nationals who are here and who can assist with the work that we do, you don't need to travel abroad to promote or be a good ambassador for Fiji. One of the requirements of the job requirements of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is also to be a good host. So for our nationals who are here in Fiji, we have visitors coming all the time. In town right now are the leaders of the Melanesian Spearhead Group. So every little gesture that you show our visitors and make them feel a little bit more welcome and to relax and enjoy our beautiful country goes a long way in furthering the positive image of Fiji that's already out there. So to those who are traveling and to those who are in Fiji, the responsibility on us as Fiji nationals is quite high in trying to protect and promote the